What is going on, guys? I am picking up right where I finished my last video. I'm still in the same clothes, literally phone's in the same spot. I finished my first Dragon Drive. It was an amazing time. It was well over 400 miles from leave here to Coonley Motorsports Park in Thompson to Dragway 42, and then Quaker City Motorsports Park in Salem. Then we had to hit 4 checkpoints on day 1 and day 2, and then day 3 was just 1, which was really fun. And there was a special bonus of the covered bridge that we were able to go to in Newton Falls, so that was really fun. If you are local to the Northeast Ohio area, you would know that. But in saying that, I came out with a personal goal saying that I wanted to run a 10-second pass. I don't care if it's a 10.99999. I wanted to average personally a 10-second pass every day. Well, day 1, it was at Dragway 42. I was too sticky. The prep there is well beyond the capabilities of what I thought I could drive the car at. So I'm like, well, here we go. I did a 170 60 foot. I'm going to put the video probably at the end of me discussing this here. So 170 60 foot, 7 something teen in the 8th at just over 100, and then I ended the pass at a 10.996 at 132. And I was like, cool, there's my 10. I don't care. Like I said, 10.99. It was full. First time I did a full interior. First time I did it in like 2,500 density altitude. And I basically had a full tank of gas because I was dragon driving. I wanted to make sure that I had gas. That is the biggest necessity for me that I didn't want to worry about. So, day 2, I drove from West Salem to Salem for Quaker, hitting some stops throughout the way. I think that day was 92 miles, so that was definitely the longest day. Got there right at noon when the gates opened. Racing didn't start till 5. That day, that's my home track. Quaker City is my home track. I did a 150 60 foot, which is blowing my old best 60 foot out of the water. But again, I had to baby second, which is what I said in my last video is the synchro, or I'm blaming the Hurst shifter, but that's in the previous video. So I'm just going to talk about my experiences here. Launched it really hard, and then I lost every bit of momentum shifting into second. I still did a 699 in the 8th. At I think 101, 102, and I trapped 124, but that was a 1088. So it was only 2 hundredths off of my personal best. If I was able to slam second, it would have been a heck of a lot faster. So turned in the 1088. So first day 1099, second day 1088. Day 3, get to Thompson after hanging out at Church Boys Racing. Saw some big old truck and trailer burnouts. That was pretty fun. Get up to Thompson or Coonley, and I went through 2 passes, and I'm like, man, this track hates me. It just feels really short. The layout's different. everything about it's a little different, and I did go there for day 0 for testing, but I couldn't get anything to roll there either. And then they had a big oil down, big crash down the track for over an hour. It was 3:30. We were racing till 5. We didn't get another pass until 4:35-ish, and I'm like, I gotta make this work. Well, they re-glued the track, and I'm like, gosh, I lowered the tire pressure a little bit, and I'm like, man, I really gotta get this to work. And then I saw them prep it, and I'm like, you know what? I put the tire pressure back in it with that little tire pressure gauge there. I didn't realize it was there. With instead of like 17, I put like 18 and a half, and revved it to 5,000 and gave it all she had. The tire still wrinkled a little bit, so it dead hooked pretty darn well. But I mean, I did a 1099 with a 9 there. And then I turned it in because I'm like, I can't make another pass. It's just not going to work. I did my best reaction time there at a 0.0006. That was pretty sick. I didn't even see the bulbs light. I just saw that both bulbs were lit, and I'm like, I'm just going to go. And it worked out pretty good. That was pretty cool for me. Comes to award ceremony, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to win anything. They go through everything. My buddy Clark Heckert, he won the 990 index class, so good for him. It was fun recording him, hanging out with him for a little bit this week. And then they get to the fastest stick car was my old Snap-on dealer. That was pretty cool. And then another guy that had a 632 third gen, pretty built, intense car. He averaged 1060s. My Snap-on dealer averaged like a 987. He has a twin turbo Coyote Fox body. Kind of hard to beat that, being, NA with, my car. But I did end up 3rd overall fastest stick shift. I was the only one that averaged a 10 besides the dude that averaged a 1060 with that 632 big block yellow Camaro. And then it came to the closest average. My buddy Kyle with the white Fox body that he did like sick week, and this was his 4th one that he did just this year. He won closest average. And then Skippy, who put it on, started talking about the story that I messaged him saying, hey, my car isn't going to be ready. Can I run my Subaru? And he was like, yeah, you just can't run faster than 13.0. And here comes to the point where I ran into this issue where it was last Wednesday when I had the bad injector seals, as you saw the video on. I tore the car apart, put it back together. Misfire was still there. So I'm like, oh no, what did I do? So my dad's like, I'm talking to my dad, we were like, we have to pull it apart to find an issue. So I spent all day, because I took the whole week off last week. I spent all of Monday tearing it apart, looking at it, and then we came up to the conclusion that head gasket wasn't cracked, head's not cracked. So then we're like, push rods were too long. And then I was like, here. It was like 11:30 after we were discussing this for like an hour. We were like, so I'm going to put the old gasket on, just barely bolt the heads down, just snug them up, put the push rods in it, and tighten everything down and do the brake clean test. Make sure the valve is completely up shut to what the spring says. Sprayed brake clean in the intake, put my finger in there and I could feel it. Put it in the exhaust, it fell right through. I looked at my dad, I'm like, all right, going to Summit tomorrow, I'm buying a head bolt set, I am buying a head gasket, and I'm buying this next size smaller push rods. And I am taking this Camaro to Buckeye Skips. And he goes, you're crazy. I said, I don't have work tomorrow. I think I'm fine. So my girlfriend and I ran up to Summit as they opened at 8 or 9, I forget. And I didn't get done working on the car till about 6. drove the car around, sent a log to Ben at GPI, who was currently tuning my car when I ran into the first issue, which is why I started looking at the logs. I'm like, hey, I got a misfire. And then, not an hour later, the dude sends me back a revision. Thank God on Ben's part that he was trying to catch up on work, but mine just kept popping up in his inbox because him and I went back and forth 3 times in one day. So I'm very happy for that. So I got the revisions a few times, and I'm like, dude, this thing's feeling completely different in a good way, in a really good way. The gas mileage, I got 18 while I'm just cruising. Throughout the whole trip, drag racing, idling, whatever, it got 14, which I don't think is that bad, because when I was looking at the instantaneous and every time I reset it when I got more gas, but until I went to drag race, I was at like above 18 on E85, which is absolutely incredible. I really enjoyed that. So I worked a 14-hour day after that, running the revisions, doing everything like that. I made myself sick. I literally threw up. I barely ate, barely drank water. I barely did anything. I was like, I am getting this car done. And my mom and my dad are both calling me crazy. And I'm like, this is going to work. I said, the bottom end is fine. It was just the push rods were too long, but we didn't have a bore scope, or we didn't do the brake clean test at first. So we got everything to work. Ben looked at the thing and said, dude, that thing looks rowdy. So then definitely is making more power because, my second gear kind of doesn't want to work anymore with the Hurst shifter, as I talked about in last video. But got everything back together, injector seals, the resealing, the high ram, literally everything. The car felt like it was when it was back to factory stock. It was so smooth, so comfortable. I get back in my daily driver, which is a 22 WRX, and I'm like, man, this thing is uncomfortable because of how comfortable this car was. And I'm like, it was just so nice to get in this car, drive at 450 miles, average a 10-second pass, full interior, most days on a full tank, and in 2,000 to 3,000 density altitude every day. That was a huge goal and accomplishment for me. I am very happy, and I was even able to take home some hardware for my first drag and drive ever. My experience of a drag and drive is I'm hooked. I loved it. I watched Cletus do it, of course. I watched 1320's video. I watched literally everything. I was so happy to finally do one that was local to me that it made me fall in love with this car and the drag and drive community even more. And honestly, I wouldn't ask for a better group of people that I hung out with. All the guys in the stick shift lanes, bunch of people I knew local. Everything was so fun, and I couldn't have asked for a better time. The weather was perfect. It was beautiful. It was a little bit on the more hot side, but whatever. It was great. I was able to accomplish my personal goal, and I was even able to get some hardware, which is absolutely insane. So yeah, really all I had to do too was I always checked my oil, because I like checking my oil. That definitely was good. Changed my intake to the velocity stack, which is also right there. As you could tell, I basically just got home, threw everything on the ground and went. But I hauled a tent, my 3 socket sets, another toolbox, the heaters, the clothes, the shower supplies, the everything. Snacks, literally everything in this car. And I couldn't have asked for a better time, honestly. It was a great way to end out my drag racing season for 2025. And I wish I could have captured more, but for my first one, I couldn't go too much into it because I was a tad wee bit overwhelmed. But really, besides that, I mean, I'll show you the highlights. There were so many pictures and videos and everything like that. I'll try and add all the videos of, like, when I talk about my passes here, I'll have them in there. But gosh, it was awesome. It was, if you are on the edge of thinking about doing one, you have to do it. It's that simple. You will get hooked. You will get addicted. It was the best time I ever had in this car. And I only had to clean the car twice. Once every day. But, yeah, really, it was a blessing how great it went. And even just to bring something home was even better. So, yeah, I think I'm going to end the video off here. Other than that, my drag racing season's pretty much done. I'm going to be changing the shifter and the transmission oil in another video, and I don't think I have much else to do this year, so hopefully I don't go incognito on here. I really do want to keep getting the momentum rolling and keep something building on here, but as of now, I don't know, because I could just, post some Subaru stuff and see how you guys like it, but besides that, we'll see. I'll figure out something. I'll just talk about experiences. People like to hear me talk, I guess. I tell good stories. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Peace. Alrighty, guys, to add to the end of the video here, I forgot to show you guys. Here's the trophy I got. It's like a little surfboard. So, that's pretty cool. It says, Buckeye Skips, class winner 2025. That's pretty freaking cool. I got a I Survive sticker for 2025. I think it's backwards, so I do apologize about that. And then I finally got my 125 mile an hour club sticker from Quaker City Motorsports Park. And my friend Marty Marion, who is Fastlane Photos, took this picture of me and my girlfriend cruising down the road. So, of course, I had to get that framed. But, yeah, it's pretty cool to get my first trophy, my first actual competition in my car. So, yeah.